Welcome to the weekend update for Liberty Leadership and Lies with Larry Linton, coming to you from the Goat Locker Studio in Sevierville, Tennessee. Well, there was an unexpected change of plans this past week. I received a phone call earlier this week that an opening for a medical procedure that I've been waiting for since March became available. I jumped on it, but it caused me to miss the briefing on Thursday at the Sevierville Civic Center from Attorney Jeff Cobble. I hope a lot of you that were in town that day made it to the event. I'm looking forward to the next scheduled seminar that he is giving. Don't forget to get your entry in for the podcast t-shirt drawing. The deadline to enter is in just a few days, the 13th of October. We will do the drawing on the 14th of October. As a reminder, to enter the drawing to win the t-shirt, send an email to larry@libertyleadershipandlies.com with your shirt size and shipping address. Put the word milestone in the subject. I will still be at the craft show in Pigeon Forge every evening for the rest of this month, so if you're in the area and want to stop by and talk, just look me up. And the campaign donation link is up and running on the Facebook page and on the website. If you're not already a follower of the website, just visit libertyleadershipandlies.com and subscribe to the blog. Or head over to Facebook and search for Larry Linton for TN12. Once you find it on Facebook, just click the follow button. So, I would like to issue a correction to something I posted on the blog the other day about the Surgeon General of the United States and George Washington. It seems that when President George Washington was the commanding general of the Continental Army, he did order the inoculation of the Army in the early stages of the Revolutionary War against smallpox. So yes, there were inoculations against a disease with a high fatality rate in the midst of trying to win a war against tyranny. Thank you very much to the listener that brought this to my attention, as well as pointing me in the right direction to research. I really appreciate the feedback and want to ensure clarity of my position. There are huge differences in the fatality rates of smallpox in 1777 and COVID in 2020-2021. There are also huge differences in the circumstances requiring the forced inoculation of our armed forces in 1777 and 2021. In 1777, we were fighting an enemy for our independence. In 2021, we are not engaged in a struggle for our independence against a foreign adversary. We the people are, however, engaged in a struggle with a government that is acting like King George in 1777. So a little bit of facts about this COVID. During the time frame between January and September 2020, there was less than 1% of the total force hospitalized for COVID infections, and only 46 deaths, which is less than 0.02% of the total force. In other words, a forced vaccination during peacetime against a disease that is highly survivable, especially among the population of healthy young adults that serve in the armed forces. Compare that to the highly contagious and deadly smallpox disease during our war for independence. And that had already wreaked havoc upon our forces during the Canadian campaign. In fact, disease accounted for nearly 90% of the deaths among our continental regulars, and smallpox was the worst of all those diseases. But then there's this hypocrisy that I always like to point out. If the left can find something that our founding fathers did that aligns with their evil purposes in the modern era, they are quick to point to it. Now, when it comes to the actual Constitution, which is backed up by the Federalist Papers and our Declaration of Independence, they will never defend the ideals in them, nor will they defend the restrictions that those documents place on government, nor will they defend the God-given individual rights they guarantee. So that's my position on this. Anytime somebody on the left brings up any actions during our Revolutionary War by our founding fathers, be sure and look into it more closely. Look for their hypocrisy. Again, thank you to the listener that pointed this out to me. Thank you for allowing me to correct the record. I have removed the post from the website and the Facebook page and will let this weekend update serve as a recant of sorts. Remember, two very different circumstances, wartime and peacetime. Two very different inoculations. One made from the live virus itself that caused the disease, and the other using mRNA and fetal stem cells. Two very different outcomes. One to provide natural immunity, and the other to provide a bit of short-term protection. Until next week, this has been the weekend update of Liberty, Leadership, and Lies with Larry Linton. I pray you all have a wonderful weekend and stand in the arena. Reveille, it's time to wake up.